Hello, and welcome to this lesson of Humanity and Social Studies with me, Mr. Ernest. This is week number 5 and lesson number 1. So we are proceeding from where we stopped last time. In today's lesson, we are going to look at responsibilities when exercising one's rights. Responsibilities when exercising our rights. Human rights and freedom need to be exercised with responsibilities. It's quite unfortunate that some people think human rights and freedom, it's all about doing whatsoever they feel like doing without necessarily respecting other people's rights. Okay, they feel like it's only up to them. They just feel like human rights is just for them. Okay, but human rights are for everyone, every individual. So it's very unfortunate that some people think human rights, it's all about doing whatsoever they feel like doing without respecting other people's rights. So the following are some of the responsibilities that we need to have whenever we're exercising our rights. Responsibility number 1, respecting oneself. Respecting oneself. Or respecting yourself. Whenever you are exercising your human rights, you need to respect yourself. Make sure whatever you're doing, you are not infringing or you are not affecting other people's rights. Secondly, respecting elders. Not only elders, but you need to respect others. Even your friends, everyone, you need to respect them. As you are respecting yourself, you also need to respect your friends, anyone, whether elders, your parents, your friends at school. You need to respect them because they also have human rights. Another responsibility that we need to have is obeying the law. Each and every country has a constitution or has laws that everyone has to abide by. As such, all the citizens, everyone in that country is supposed to follow the laws. Okay? As such, no one is above the law. So we are mandated or we are tasked to obey the laws. Responsibility number 4, participating in developmental activities. Participating in developmental activities. So we all need to participate in activities that will bring development in our society. Development in our communities, whether at school, we need to participate in all the activities that will bring development at our school. That's a responsibility. That's part of our responsibility. Responsibility number 5, we all need to take good care of our environment. My goodness. We all need to take good care of our environment. We are not supposed to damage other people's properties because they also have human rights. So if you break somebody's property, that means you are affecting other people's human rights. Now, having looked at the responsibilities when exercising one's rights, the question is, what's the importance of observing human rights? What's the importance of observing human rights? Now, let's look at the importances of observing human rights. Importances of observing human rights. Number 1, every individual lives peacefully. Every individual lives peacefully. If I am able to observe your human rights, and if you are also able to observe my human rights, or to respect my human rights, then we can live peacefully without any sort of disagreement, without any sort of conflict, without fighting. Why? Because I'm able or you're able to respect my rights, and I'm also able to respect your rights. Okay? That's one of the importances of human rights. Secondly, people are able to tolerate one another. Yes, like I said, if you are able to respect other people's rights, then you can easily tolerate one another. The other importance of human rights, or the other importance of observing human rights, is that the community develops socially and economically. Human rights brings development in our society or in our community. Finally, human rights act as a basis for justice and fairness. Where there is human rights, every country or every community or every society where they respect each other's human rights, then there is fairness and justice. Everyone is treated well. Okay, so those are some of the importances of human rights. Those are just some of the importances of human rights. Let's now quickly look at the institutions and other things that protects our human rights. What are the things that promotes our human rights? Firstly, we have constitution. Have you ever heard about constitution before? Have you ever heard about constitution before? What do you think a constitution is? A constitution is just a set of rules. So constitution is just a set of rules, okay, that governs a country. Constitution is a set of rules that governs a country. So a constitution is used to govern or to rule a country. Therefore, this constitution protects our human rights. Whenever our human rights are not protected, are not respected, then the constitution can come in and protect us. The other institution or the other thing that protects our human rights are the police. So the police is just a law enforcement agency. The police is just a law enforcement agency. It's just there to enforce the laws that is in the Constitution. Remember, we said the Constitution is a set of laws for governing a country. So now the police, as a law enforcement agency, is just there to enforce or to implement what is in the Constitution. So the police are also there to protect our human rights. The courts as part of the courts is just one of the branches of government. Therefore, they are also there to protect our human rights. Whenever we feel like our human rights are not respected, then we can go to court and ask for intervention. The office of ombudsman is also another institution that protects our human rights, and we also have civil societies. Those are also some of the institutions that protects our human rights. Now, we can't talk of human rights without talking about human rights abuse. We can't talk of human rights without talking about this abuse. It's almost everywhere. This abuse is almost everywhere. Oh my God. So human rights are violated and abused mostly or commonly in families, community, school, and even country at large. So the following are some of the ways how our human rights are abused. Firstly, rape. We have heard that other girls are being raped. Okay, that's human rights abuse. Violence against women and children. Mostly women and children are the victims. So violence against women and children is part of the human rights abuse. We also have child abuse. Any sort of abuse that we can give to children, it's part of human rights abuse. Detention without trial. Okay, maybe whenever you are arrested by the police, they need to tell you the reason why you're being arrested for. Okay, and maybe if you are put in prison, you need to know the charges, the reasons for your charges, because it's part of your human rights. Another example of human rights abuse is denying one to attend school. If someone or your parents are saying, no, you shouldn't go to school, I'm not going to send you to school, that's part of human rights abuse. Yes. Point number 6, turning music to full volume in class, homes, or living quarters. Oh my goodness. You just turn the music to full volume and you're just saying, I'm exercising my human rights. Yes, but at the same time, you are affecting other people's rights. So, those are some of the human rights abuse examples. Okay, point number 7, human rights abuse. Another example, dismissing workers without genuine reasons. Okay, maybe at a certain company, the boss just fires everyone there, every employee, without any tangible reason. That's human rights abuse. Finally, denying education, health, and right to association for people with disabilities. That's also part of human rights abuse. Now, the question is, the effects. What are some of the effects of human rights abuse? When people's rights are abused, what can be the result? So the following are the effects of human rights abuse. 1, there's going to be rise in criminal activities. Secondly, an increase in conflict in society. Thirdly, lives of women and children are threatened. Like I already said earlier on, that mostly women and children are the victims of this human rights abuse. So lives of women and children are threatened. Finally, development in the country is negatively affected. Why? Because there is human rights abuse. As we are winding up today's lesson of human rights responsibility, we've looked at the responsibilities that we need to have whenever we're exercising our human rights. We also looked at the importance of observing human rights. We also looked at the institution that protects our human rights. We also looked at the human rights abuse. Now, as we're winding up the lesson, I want us to do the following exercise. Question number 1. Mention 3 institutions that promote human rights in the society. Question number 2. List down 2 importances of human rights. And question number 3. Mention 2 effects of human rights. That marks the end of our today's lesson. My name is Conry Ernest Chindenga. Until we meet again next time, bye-bye.